Hey, thanks for being here today. I don't know what it is. I just want to yap despite being like tired as fuck. Like I'm like so dead right now. I don't know if it's the caffeine crash or I'm really just tired from all the energy being used up today, and like I don't know what happened. Like the lighting is just ass. Or maybe it's just the color that I'm wearing. I don't really know. It's just not giving right now, okay? But anyways, that's not the point. The point is that today I'm here to bring you some insightful analysis on life. As if I have not been analyzing my life already. But anyways, what I mean is, you know, I was just sitting at a dining table, eating my dinner, and then suddenly I just thought of something. But before we get to that, let's just talk about today. What happened today? What's the occasion? So I don't know what's wrong with me. What is going on? Can I not talk? Like what? Anyways, so today there's like an alumni talk in my university, and there's like basically like the alumni from like many years ago, even more like a decade or whatever, and they're here to just like give a talk, tell them about their experiences, about, their life lessons and what so on and so forth. And I walked into that room expecting like, some advice, some tips or experience or like lessons from, the field that I'm working towards. But turns out a lot of them really emphasizes on like life lessons and like what really matters in order to like move forward to like the next step and all of that shit. And I'm just like, I was surprised. I'm like, damn, this really resonates with me. Like it is deep, because you don't get talks like these usually when you go to these events or like these activities. They're always like, if it's like a related field, obviously they're gonna like talk about whatever fucking thing. Like, for example, if you're gonna be at a business event, they're gonna talk about business. But this, they talk about life lessons and all that, and I'm like, okay, it's just like philosophy lesson or what. But yeah, I really appreciate it. I just think that this is exactly what I needed to hear, because you can like, how do I say this? It's like, look, you can go to many places and you can like look up many different videos and many sources that talks about the field that you're gonna be in and the field that you're working in, but it's quite rare to really have someone sit down and tell you that like, hey, so although all of these things matter, what matters the most is about how you go through life and how you deal with them and how you solve problems and all of that. And I'm just like, yeah, I really appreciate that. And it's just, they really remind us that like sometimes it's just not that serious, because the main takeaway I get from this whole event is that life is not a straight line. It's not gonna be linear, it's not fixed, and so things will eventually change. Once it could change like what, every 6 months, every year, we never know. We just have to adapt to it, and you just have to redefine your goals, and you just have to like solve the problems and obstacles that come in your way when that comes. And although like I've heard that from my father, it's just like, it's nice to also hear from other people. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes when your parents tell you something and they're wise, what they're saying is valid, what they're saying is definitely really important, that's why they're telling you all this. But it's like, when you hear other people say it too, it just kind of reaffirms that like, oh, this is important, and it's important to keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just a confirmation of like, if what you're doing is right. And I don't know, it's just, I don't know why it resonated with me so much. It's like, I never would have ever expected them to talk about anything else, but they did. They talk about, I don't know, life lessons, that's deep, bruh. Anyways, back to what I wanted to say. Basically, when I was sitting at my dining table, I thought of the quote, be yourself, And I was like, I think I've heard that quote thrown around so much, but when I was younger, I've always thought that like, this quote never applies to me. And you might think, why not? Well, it's because, when you're grown up, being known as like the weird kid, or like, people are bothered by like what you're doing, even though it's like fucking free will and there's like a public space to do all that. It's just like, it's the trauma, okay? It's just like, I'd be thinking, be yourself just means that like, oh, if you're kind, be kind. If you're weird, be weird. And I am weird, but it's like, look, it felt like I was like weird. It just felt like it didn't apply to me. It felt like, that just ain't for you, girl. Like, that is for the people that are, whatever, that are actually liked for being weird. And then I feel that like, oh, maybe this doesn't apply to me, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is, if you think that the quote doesn't apply to you, that means that the quote actually applies to you. Like, think about it. It's the people that think it doesn't apply to them, it's the people that needs to hear it the most. And I guess I'm kind of talking about myself here. This kind of serves as like a little reminder for myself as well, because I don't know, I keep thinking I'm like some alienated kid that can't make friends, okay? So that's why I really need to tell myself, it's like, look, sometimes you just don't have to like go chase everyone to like get known, to like be friends with many people, to build connections. You don't need to like go chase so much just to build meaningful connections. Sometimes you just gotta put in some work, okay, on yourself, and you gotta put some work out there. Hopefully you can get some friends, hopefully you can get recognized. But at the end of the day, what matters is just you need to build your own garden and the butterflies will come. It's like, no matter how hard you're trying to fit in, no matter how hard you're trying to like go after people and being like, hey, look, I'm right here, I'm cool, I'm smart, I'm beautiful, look at me, like, be my friend. No, like, that is just not gonna work, okay? Like, that's what I thought would work. That's what I thought I had to do in order to, get the recognition that I've always wanted. But then it didn't work out like that. I only started seeing like real effort when I just let it go, and I'm always being myself. And sooner or later, people are just gonna like build respect for you, and they're gonna admire you. And even if that doesn't like necessarily like happen, or they don't openly admit the admiration, just as long as what you're doing is right, that's enough. Yeah, I think I'm like low-key talking to myself more at this point. I'm not even like doing this for anyone. I think that's about it for these two topics. Like, I just want to say the be yourself thing, I struggle so much on. If you look at my social media, you might think that like, oh, she's like being herself, like she's doing all this, all that. Maybe I'm known to have like a specific style, specific aesthetic, specific way of talking, just a identity, right? But then when I'm alone, I struggle to do that. And especially in social settings, I feel like, on these social medias, I look so cool, I look so slay, and then once I'm in society, I'm like, yo, I feel like an alien right now. Like, I feel like I don't belong here. I feel like I can't find my people, I feel like whatever I'm doing just doesn't really align with anyone, even though, it might. And I just haven't found my people yet. But again, I just keep struggling with that. No matter how much I've been reassured, it's like, bro, I always yap, and I always like rant to people about, like rant to like my friends and my family about this problem that like I don't feel like I belong, I don't feel like I fit in, and that I feel like I'm just not made for like a life like that or whatever. But it's like, no matter if they give me like reassurances, they comfort me, they give me like advice, and they push me and encourage me to go out there and just keep being myself, it's just like, it's still difficult, because considering there's also other aspects that I do struggle with, and it low-key affects, it low-key affects, me being myself. I just don't think it's the time to talk about this right now. But anyways, am I gonna stop yapping? I guess. I don't even know. I just think that for today, this is the only thing I want to talk about, okay? I don't know about other days. I don't know about any other deep shower thoughts or like late night thoughts or dinner table thoughts. But Oh, I just want to say to the people who are actually interested in like what I'm saying, and to people who actually are like willing to sit down and to like, you know, listen to my yaps, and just like, if you just like voluntarily even click on this video and you reach this point, I just want to say thank you. It means a lot. Like, you know, maybe to you it just seems like, oh, you're just watching some random girl. Yeah, but for me personally, it's like I feel like I'm putting myself out there so much for doing this. And although like these problems, I feel like meh, it's normal. Like I already talked to a lot of my friends about this. It's like I already feel like I've talked enough about this that I don't feel like it's that deep anymore. It's not deep. It's not that it's invalid. It's just life is not that deep. That's what I feel, and I'm not afraid to open up and show myself and put myself out there. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's like, you know, even then, it means a lot that you're here, you know? And I think it means genuinely a lot, especially because I think to a lot of people, I don't know, I think I'm just, even right now, I'm like wondering, like, what do people even think of me, you know? I mean, like, in every aspect, like, what do you think of me? Actually, this is not a question, it's more like a thought. I'm not actually asking for answers right now. Don't even try to think that I'm asking for answers, but I'm trying to say it's like, it's like that wondering where you're like, what do people think of me really? Because of like the way I portray myself on these platforms, you know? It's like, I feel like it's the fact that like, you know, people give me compliments usually on like my appearance, my style, and like everything that is external. So it's really rare for me to like receive compliments or to be recognized for my mindset, my intellect, or like anything that comes from the heart and my mind. So it means a lot, you know? It's just, I would rather get compliments from, you know, like I would rather get compliments about my mind, my mentality, you know, my emotions, you know, anything to do with like internal. I would rather get all the compliments from that and not get compliments on my appearance, rather than always getting compliments on appearance and not the other aspect. It's just, I feel like you can look at yourself and you know, hey, I look good. But to be recognized as someone that is good with emotions is rare. Because, yo, low-key, I feel like Gen Zs, a lot of them are very emotionally intelligent, okay? And I think I might be one of the groups, you know, I might be in the range. And I'm like aware that I'm, to some extent, I'm emotionally aware, and like I can process my emotions well. Maybe I just don't necessarily have the solutions to my problems, but I just process my emotions and my thought really well. But it's, yeah, how would I even say this? I don't know what I'm talking about at this point. But again, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot. Thanks so much for hearing me out. I feel like, although it's like, anyways, yeah, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. You really just gotta like unwind. Yeah, hit the hay, cause I'm still adapting, y'all. It's a lot. It's like there's so much happening, you know. I'm still trying to get used to this new routine. But yeah, good night. It's 6:21 p.m. What do you mean good night? Yeah, that's it. That's it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you again next time when I yap. Bye.